Indeed, Mike. Now, for millions of children, Play School was their first taste of TV. It was mine anyway. It boasted presenters with endless enthusiasm, a supporting cast of toys, and a unique set of windows on the world.
Play School began life in 1964 and ran for 24 years. Today, former presenters will reunite at a special event being held as part of BBC Two's 40th birthday celebrations. Nick Thatcher has been taking a trip down memory lane.
A house with a door.
It was the pride of preschool programming for a generation. It's aimed to educate and entertain.
Ready to play? What's the day?
The presenters became household names, but it was the toys who would often steal the show. Now, 40 years on, the truth can be told.
Hamble was never liked. Hamble sort of leered at you, really, with the little sort of eyes, and her head kept falling off. So she wasn't very useful.
It's early morning through one of the windows today.
The presenters were employed on weekly contracts, but many stayed for years, and they were chosen for their versatility.
I used to play the flute a bit, and I could play drums, and so they could make use of it. And I do a funny little voice in my cheek, you know, talk like that. You know, they could make use of that. If you can do impressions, or you can juggle or ride a unicycle, they could make use of it. So you felt very special because they were writing the scripts for your talents.
Hello, I'm Virginia.
Hello, I'm Gordon.
Play School was first broadcast in 1964. Now, 40 years on, with the arrival of digital channels, children's television can offer so much more. Today, the BBC broadcasts more than 30 hours of children's programming every weekday, and CBeebies, aimed at the preschool audience, has to compete with some 20 other channels. But while Play School is no longer shown, its legacy lives on.
For television for now, for young children, is much more sophisticated, obviously. But the foundations are the same. Like, for instance, one of the BBC shows at the moment, which is very popular, is Tikkabilla. They have the round window,
the square window,
and the arch window. We all know that.
Playing that game. I still play it now.
And even now, preschool programming retains familiar formats of song, dance and storytelling. The co-creator of The Tweenies was himself a Play School presenter.
The most important thing, I think, is the format of the programme, having a strong format for the age range, and the contact of the presenters or the characters to the child at home and committing to them. That's what we got from Play School.
Do you know what time the clock's saying today?
Today, former Play School presenters will reunite and reminisce to celebrate the show's anniversary before an audience at London's National Film Theatre. An opportunity for big kids everywhere to relive a special part of their childhood. Nick Thatcher, BBC News, Central London.
So, what was life really like in the Play School? Backbiting, vicious comments, sabotage possibly? Here's Ben Thomas. He's one of the show's presenters between 1980 and 1986. Morning, Ben. I mean, you're going to say it's all terribly nice and good fun, wasn't it?
Oh, we were all very well behaved. That was only on camera, though, because the rehearsals were the most exciting part of working for Play School, let me tell you.
And you had rehearsals in those days?
We had to learn everything that we did there, so there was none of this easy autocue that you youngsters get nowadays. No, we learnt 5 programmes in one go.
Really?
That's right, yes.
But if you went slightly off script, it didn't really matter, did it?
Well, it did to the children, so we had to work very hard to get that one-to-one relationship, which is the special thing about Play School that, let me say, I don't think happens today on children's television.
So what do you mean? What do you mean by that? You were just speaking. You were thinking you were speaking to one person, or there was a.
Yeah, the very special lady producer called Cynthia Felgate had this extremely clever clue for all presenters, and that is that you are not talking to millions of people, you're talking to your one favourite person that you liked, and that gave that one-to-one eye contact through the lens, which you two have, don't you?
Well, it would have been, you would have been speaking to Louise.
You were talking to me.
She was a big fan. Well, actually,
Really?
1980.
It was me.
Louise, now
I would have been probably watching.
Now you say, I remember you. You were in your lounge, weren't you? Yes.
Yeah, what colour was it? No, don't worry.
Well, go on.
It's changed a lot, though, hasn't it? Now, I mean, they seem to have taken a lot of things. I watch CBeebies a little bit these days. They seem to have taken a lot of things from Play School, but it is also different as well, isn't it? Just all that the sheer amount of children's TV there is for a start.
Yeah. I think one of the differences, one of the special differences, is that we cut from camera shots. Can the audience see this?
Yes.
Oh my
That's you.
God! That's when I looked older. But
What are you pretending to be there?
sober. But the way children's television is done today, there are very quick cuts, and in Play School, you could have a 5-minute shot for, say, for instance, a to-camera story.
Yeah.
So that engaged the audience in a totally different way
Well,
than...
perhaps television is responsible for the shortened attention span that children have these days.
That might be a possibility, but I think children can still acquire that again if they're allowed to. Yeah, yeah.
No, talk about some of the actors and the actresses, and Hamble, the doll, who I thought was quite scary, actually.
Really?
Why did they have Hamble?
Yeah, the reason for Hamble was, and this is Cynthia again, that she wanted a range of toys that actually represented the sort of toys that the whole of the viewing audience would have. So you'd have a scruffy toy and you'd have a posh toy. But of course there was Humpty, who was the star.
He was.
And he used to go missing around the studio, and you'd only find him on when the red light came on, and he was a joy to work with.
I've missed all this. It was after my time, I'm afraid.
Do you mean you were younger or older?
I was younger.
Yeah, of course,
For
Bill.
heaven's sake.
Yeah. Oh, it's obvious to me now. Yeah.
And the celebration, you all going to get in a little house together today, or what's going to happen?
Is that a joke? No, all right. All the presenters, and I've not seen some of these people for 20 years, we're all getting together at the NFT this afternoon, if I can plug, 2 o'clock to 3:30, and we're going to tell you all the secrets that you don't know about how we did it.
And how did the sets stay up? Because they just looked like plastic, didn't they?
No, they were made of wood, actually. It was BBC in the old days where they actually paid money for sets.
Yes. All right, that's quite enough. Ben, thank you very much.
Bill and Ben.
My pleasure, thank you.
Well done. That's it.